Hi, this is Greg Holden from the Chatham-Kent Review. Again, this week we have the Mayor with Table Chat with the Mayor. It's our weekly feature. We'll be showcasing all the different things that are going on in Chatham-Kent through the Mayor himself.
Morning, Greg. How are you today?
Very well, Mr. Mayor. How are you?
I'm doing good. You know, Greg, first of all, before we get into a few questions, I just want to say I think it's a great thing that you're doing. Number one, talking with elected officials through communicating on what's going on in our communities. And one thing is there's a lot of activity, and it's so hard to get the story out of what's happening in Chatham-Kent. Because you know what's important? We have a story to tell the people in our own community, plus across the world, about what Chatham-Kent has to offer.
Great.
So I'm looking forward to today's discussion.
Well, it's good to have you here, well, in your own office. So what we're going to do today is talk about the recent survey we had in Chatham-Kent. It was a Chatham-Kent youth survey. There was some problems with retention of youth in Chatham-Kent, and we're wondering if there's any input that's been from that survey that gives you any insight into the youth of Chatham-Kent.
Well, I mean, one of the things that we're trying to do, and we're based on the report information, is find out what strengths we have and what weaknesses we realize. We have known some of this stuff, but it's always nice to be told by those residents or those youth in our community what we need to do. So what we need to do is focus more on post-secondary education. We need to make sure that we're just not a retirement community, that we're attracting youth and important intelligence in our community. So by the study itself, we're going to start being able to measure outcomes and outputs. So that way we can start to track ourselves to attract more residents into Chatham-Kent, especially those residents in the youth sector. Because since we delivered the report to council, I have received a number of emails, which we are collecting. It talks about areas that they believe we need to focus on.
And also, is there any, we heard about the trade mission to China. Is there any other trade missions in store for you?
Yeah, there's potentially a couple more trade missions that are on the docket to be considered. We'll have more of that to announce. I will say that the China trip is a most likely and will happen type thing. I know that we have been invited by government officials in China to speak on behalf of wind energy from a municipal locals perspective. I mean, Chatham-Kent does have the profile around the world. My picture's been plastered all over in a number of good and bad scenarios, but we'll take it whatever we can. But you know, I'm looking forward to responding to that quickly and getting into China to speak in front of a huge delegation.